Hey guys, Alex here. It's been a while, and I thought you guys want an update on what decks I'm playing. So, I've got a couple different decks here in different stages of development. I'd say like half of them are decks that are finished and I play currently. The other half are decks I'm trying to finish so I can start playing them. And some decks are so in works in progress, I can't even bring them up here to show you. So let's just get started just from the top and work our way down here. So over here, we're going to start with Gate Guardian. Gate Guardian. It's from the original Yu-Gi-Oh anime, and that's kind of the reason I built it. I was always a fan of the Paradox Brothers and these episodes where Joey and Yugi played against them, and they used their labyrinth to change the entire rules of how the Yu-Gi-Oh card game was working. And I thought that was neat. So when they added the Gate Guardians aboard, I was like, I could finally play a deck based on Para and Dox? Yeah, I'll do that. So its best card is the Gate Guardians Combined, which is just a retrain of Gate Guardian. But I think the most important part of the deck is actually the three,
I guess individual fusion.
Yeah, the combo, the three different combos of Gate Guardians that aren't the full thing, because it's a reference to the anime where Yugi was able to destroy a piece of Gate Guardian, and the Paradox Brothers were forced to try to fight with a partial Guardian, and it didn't work out so well. But in the real card game, it works out very well.
Do you like how they modernized the deck, where it's like kind of contact fusing each part from like the field and grave and stuff?
While I don't love the idea of fusion not being fusion, I do like contact fusing as a useful mechanic. I think it's very good.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that at all. The fact that they don't have a Gate Guardian fusion card is probably a good thing. It will be kind of extra and not, I think, in the spirit of what Gate Guardian was in the first place. I think it's fine this way.
Cool.
My next deck I want to show is my Melfi's. So Melfi was a beast deck. I've played beast decks for a long time. Even back before there were archetypes, I was playing decks based on beasts. So Melfi's were just where my beast interest went, and it went to these adorable animal creatures. Yeah, I can't explain why I like Melfi so much. They're just these cute forest animals that use the Ronin Raccoon Sendayu. This is the reason why I like it. There we go. That was easy.
Yeah, you used to use Sendayu back
in the Baby Raccoon deck. One of my first archetype decks. But because so many of them level 2, you can do that in here. And the deck is pretty fun. It's just really annoying for the opponent. It doesn't win very easily, but what it does is make losing very grindy with the opponent, because you're playing during their turn, doing small plays that can amount to a whole lot once your Xyz monsters come out. And while you're not going to win all at once, you can have fun winning or losing by playing Melfi's, and that's actually the real reason I like it. Mm-hmm. So obviously not all my decks are anime themed, like my G-Nex deck. God, how many of us have always wanted to be able to say that, right? So you guys might recognize the G-Nex controller monster, right? Let's see, there he is. How many of y'all have played this guy in like a various old combo decks for synchro summons and stuff, right? G-Nex controller has always been around. It was one of the earliest vanilla tuner monsters that I can remember. It's a machine dupe target. There were reasons people played this card, and none of it was its own deck. Yes, some of you may have put it in an old G-Nex deck like me. And like me, you also knew that wasn't good at all.
You were on the ones in the trenches playing those G-Nex back in the day.
It just didn't work. It wasn't a real archetype. It was just, they had the same name and almost a strategy, but not really. But now we do, all thanks to Repair G-Nex Controller, which is the heart, soul, lungs, blood, brain. It's everything of the deck. You need this card to play this deck. And while the deck fumbles hard the moment this card gets negated, I still like having the chance to play it. And when you do play it, it's pretty awesome. Like the RG-Nex, who are known for having a very interesting reactor technology usually that little shining circle on these monsters. It's supposed to be a new power source that the Genex used to power themselves during the old dual terminal story. And, well, they kind of reflect that in the fact that Repair Genex Controller can give you infinite normal summons, kind of. So, yeah, I like that theming. And while it's definitely a glass cannon in like the realest of ways, I enjoy playing it. Next up, let's look at one of my old favorites, Earth's Arctics. It's polar bears. I mean, yeah. Well, okay, this guy isn't a polar bear, but you can kind of see the bear aesthetic in Septentrion too. They're just, they're all theme. Like, it's all theme. They're based on the Big Dipper, the 7 stars in the Big Dipper. So most all your monsters for the deck are level 7 besides the synchro monsters who use weird subtraction synchro mechanics to make them, which was neat. By the way, you can't make any of the Arctic synchro monsters by synchro summoning at all. You're not allowed to. They're synchro monsters in name only. So maybe I like decks that don't do the right, that just kind of abuse mechanics. I don't know. But Arctic was one of my first decks that I really tried hard to build and like get some real use out of at locals, and it did work. Problem was, I felt terrible about it because Arctic's played by layering a nice little floodgate effect on your opponent that made certain decks that didn't have levels unable to play. If you were playing an Xyz deck or a Link deck, Arctic said, nope, you're done. If my Septentrion hits the board, your deck is done. That's just how it worked. And while that made me win, I didn't feel that great for winning. But because it was never a terribly strong deck back then, I kind of mitigated that by saying, hey, you let me do this. Now it's kind of much better. Still not like the best kind of a deck, but they gave it support that lets it really play the game. And without so much of a hand loss if you can get the cards, if you can get the right search cards. I mean, it's great. It's a great deck. I will still play it until the day it is, I guess, crumbled to dust in my hands. Next up, let's go to one that you would think is one thing, but isn't that. So this is my Shark deck. And by Shark deck, I mean... Oh, wait, this might not tell you anything. Let's try again. Does this tell you anything? No? Okay, we'll try again. Wait, I know exactly what'll give it away. I know what'll give it away. Here we go. Yes, this is a legendary Fisherman deck. Except not really, no. It's a Kairyu Shin deck that I put legendary Fisherman in because that was my favorite OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster. The legendary Fisherman was everything to me as a kid. The fact that they made retrains and upgrades for it were just meant everything to me. Sure, that wasn't really a deck, so I couldn't really play it too well. That sucked. But eventually, they gave me enough cards based on Mako's deck where I could. And so this is a Kairyu Shin deck. The extra deck for it doesn't actually matter all that much because the strategy is in the main deck, not in the extra. So the extra deck can be whatever good water support card you can find. And thanks to this card game, there are a lot of those. So that was the idea behind it. And I enjoyed it because it's a legacy deck. But like Arctic, it's also a bit of a floodgate deck. And I don't always love winning with that. But I love winning with this a bit more, though, because it's so hard to win with it. Next, let's move on to something I'm working on. I have not finished this Ritual Beast deck yet. Mostly because I took it apart after I first built it, because I used to be a Ritual Beast player. I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was annoying for my opponents, and some of my friends hate that I still have it. And I never did. I always thought it was cool. I thought it was a crime when Ulti Canahawk got banned, but now it's back at full power and nobody cares. That means it's time to win with it, right? Maybe? That's my plan anyway. But like a couple of my other decks, it's another deck that kind of abuses its mechanic. Yes, these are fusion monsters. Most of the deck are fusion monsters. This is a fusion monster. This is a Link. But you don't fusion summon any of these guys. You do a contact style of fusion. So yeah, that's just how that tends to go. But it was a cool contact fusion because you had ways of taking any two of your Spiritual Beast and Ritual Beast Tamers, turning it into a ulti form of a Ritual Beast, and then you could quickly uncontact to avoid an effect or something. So that was really nice. I thought Ritual Beast was an awesome deck, and it was one of my first really fun modernish decks. Next on the list, another deck I'm working on, but like Ritual Beast, it's one I used to actually play more of. This is Ice Barrier. So I'm trying to play it because of this nice shiny new card here. They had a new round of support like a lot of dual terminal archetypes did. So I want to see what it's like with the new support. But I really started playing Ice Barrier when the structure deck came out. I really enjoyed mashing together three of it and getting a very decent synchro deck. I still don't know why people think it's bad. I think it's pretty awesome. Though I also don't care about playing competitively too much, so that might be why. But I played against other starter decks with that starter deck and kind of crushed them. So it was definitely one of the stronger starter decks ever made, in my opinion. So I've enjoyed it just because it's a synchro deck. I like a little synchro stuff going on, but it's also got its little pseudo floodgates, which everybody hates. I play way too many pseudo floodgates. Maybe I should play the whole thing, right? I should go all in. Where's my inspector borders at? Maybe I should get some vanities. I don't know. And finally, a new favorite of mine, but also an oldie. A lot of my decks are things I've built before. Battling Boxers. So, first off, I didn't build this deck. Unlike my other decks, which I was still working on, this one's fully finished, but it was given to me by my brother. I used to have a fully functional Battling Boxer deck back when it was Bad Boxers, where it wasn't much of a deck at all. I enjoyed it though, and I played the heck out of it. I even added Blue Flame Swordsman to it when that was like the only like Fire Warrior support card. It wasn't great, but this is a cool deck. It has a very simple way to get two Battling Boxes on the board to make Xyz monsters, and you just kind of pummel your opponent from there. I gotta test out the new support in Kaiser and Dempsey. I'm not entirely sure how I can hang with this deck in a game, but I'm looking really forward to trying it out. Anyway, these are my 8 decks. As I said, they're just kind of a hodgepodge. I thought when I put them all out, I get an idea for what kind of player I am. Yeah, I have no idea what kind of player I am. I see shiny card, like art, build deck. That's just me. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Pass turn.